Adak, the birthplace of the winds, houses memories that date back to World War II, when it was home to campaigns in the Northern Pacific. Over 90,000 soldiers were part of history that dictated the worth of the Aleutian Islands for the United States defense needs. Since that time, Adak's role for the defense of the continental United States has grown in magnitude. Today, the apex of importance is felt by the commands that are housed on the island. Since Adak is the largest in the Aleutian chain and has a relative geographical defense system with its inlets and mountains and outer islands, it has been ideal for many commands to utilize its location. The Naval Security Group activity, the Naval Facility, along with various temporarily assigned VP squadrons and tenant commands, not only train here but help defend our nation in peacetime as well as in a wartime scenario. Since the weather is an important factor to any mission, Adak propels the goal and success of the mission by dealing with great variances of weather conditions. The winters are long and hard. The wind is the enemy in winter and, for that matter, in any season. Linked to this, the constant precipitation. 85% of the year it rains or snows. This adds another perspective to getting the mission completed. For VP squadrons, this is an added challenge. In wintertime, the temperatures can plummet with the wind chill to the low teens, and blizzards are not out of the ordinary. However, the amount of snowfall is less on Adak than what is accumulated in the mainland. Summers are brief. Usually high temps are in the high 50s or low 60s, but sunlight is a stranger to the island, with sunny days being held at a premium. Fall and spring have been deemed rainy seasons, but as mentioned prior, any time can be a rainy season on this island. Where does all this take place? Well, Adak is in the middle of the Aleutian chain, some 25 miles wide by 35 miles long. Housed within this framework are 3 dormant volcanoes. One, Mount Moffat, sits in the center of the island, while 2 sit off the coast, one to the east, Sitkin, and one to the west, Tanaga. The ranging irregular coastline can vary between black beaches to sandy inlets. Rocky cliffs greet the shorelines of both in a majority of the inlet settings, serving as a deterrent for any would-be stranger. The only trees that stand on Adak are the trees that were seedlings during World War II, and they've survived over 40 years of intrepid weather. In light of this fact, the 44 trees still standing are considered something of an oddity, since there are no other trees on the island. These 44 have been named as a national forest. The terrain does not lend itself to vegetation, though, since over 90% of the island is tundra. This rolling, spongy growth is difficult to walk in and presents yet another geographical nightmare for those ill-equipped to deal with the presence of these conditions. Now, you may be asking yourself, how does one live on Adak? Well, the answer is very well. Quite a change from the days of the Second World War, when soldiers lived in Quonset huts and tents. Now Adak has housing for families of naval and government employees. 2 schools and a third is being built in the early 1990s. With the unique weather conditions that Adak presents, social and athletic life on Adak is far from being boring or dull. The Kulak Sports Center, Yakutat, and Naval Security Group complexes offer such sports and hobbies to entertain the youngest dependent to the most sports-minded sailors, from weightlifting, volleyball, indoor soccer and basketball, and yes, even softball. Sometimes it's called snowshoe softball. The nightlife on Adak isn't Reno or Las Vegas, but 4 clubs offer a variety of culinary delights and dance from country to rock and roll. And for those that aren't into sports, there are a wealth of outside activities that Adak offers. The University of Alaska offers classes for dependents and sailors. Courses enable getting that associate's or bachelor's degree. While some residents of the island might not want to attain a degree, but just would like to gain further education in a wide variety of subjects, the Adak Community Education Program offers a spectrum of courses. Chinese cooking, videography to martial arts and ballroom dance training are just a few. In the Fine Arts Department, both the Yakutat and the Naval Security Group offer hobby stores which allow anyone entering their domain the chance to cast forms, model clay, or do needlepoint, along with various other hobbies from building model airplanes to stained glass work. For Islanders, a vet tech is on board to take care of those feline and man sidekicks that hang with you out in the tundra. While there are no major shopping malls, the Navy Exchange is centered in the downtown area, has a mall-like representation. One credit union stands right outside the Exchange's doors next to the post office. Upstairs, both a barber and beauty shop are housed. And just around the corner from the post office is a delicatessen. It serves up delights at sandwich items. And of course, in the same complex is the Navy Commissary. Add to this the inclusion of a McDonald's, and this rounds out the island. But for those who enjoy the great out-of-doors, salmon fishing is the highlight of one's tour on Adak. Along with salmon season, dolly bird and another game is a big feature. And for hunters, the thought of caribou, duck, and ptarmigan are a challenge that many take on to enjoy over and over again. Just 18 years after the end of World War II, the naval facility of Adak was christened. The major role and mission of the naval facility has always been to provide acoustic oceanographic data to mobile forces operating in the Pacific. The facility accomplishes their mission with just 200 in its employ. 15 officers and 185 enlisted get the job done. The breakdown of personnel is spread between ocean systems technicians, comprised of both analysts and maintainers. Radiomen, Seabees, enginemen, and cryptologic technicians make up the picture. Add to this electronic tech and yeomen, and the view is complete. The naval facility is located east of the downtown area, normally called the edge of town. It's close to the runway that one sees upon entering Adak, only some 40 feet from the Kulak Bay, and right down the road from both the Naval Air Station and the security group. The facility's location lends itself to the privacy and security that it needs to complete its mission. While the length of tour in Adak can range from 18 months for single personnel to 24 months for married with their dependents on island, it's a place that people make the difference and the people make the mission work, and also make the most of their time on island. The sailors and their families here represent more than just another naval station, but add to this that Adak is the 5th largest populated area in all of Alaska, with food and supplies either reaching their place on the shelves either by barge from Seattle or Anchorage or by plane. With all the constraints of weather, separation, challenge of the mission, and isolation, the community as an entirety survived, and more, posing and proving once again that the role of Adak is monumental in its task and in its role for the nation and for the sailor.